Hi again, welcome to another video. I'm at my unit and I'm sorting through mower parts at the moment because I've decided, well, I decided years ago that I was going to take mower parts off, which I have been doing for probably the best part of 7-8 years, and thinking I'm going to put them on eBay. Well, some have been put on eBay over the years, but not a huge amount. I've always wanted to get a real decent amount of listings done on eBay so I can just sort of sit back then and just wait and see if they sell. And the thing is, if they're not up there, they're not going to sell. It's a tedious job. It is very boring listing on eBay. But once it's done and they're up there, eBay are really doing the work for you. I know they want their chunk when an item sells, but yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment. So it got me thinking, let's do a little video about it. If you've got some old mowers hanging around and you're thinking, I don't know what to do with them, part may come for it at some point, it may never turn up, or you know, you've got other things on, you just don't get round to it, just explore and have a look on eBay and see what people have sold parts for, because sometimes you can get a lot more out of a mower for parts than you can actually fixing up and selling it, and it's a lot easier as well. I know you have to do the bit of packing, you have to send it off and that, there is all that, but you know, it is extra income that's just sort of staring you in the face. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna try and do a bit more of, because you can see how much stuff I've got there. For example, big old pile there. Some of them I still might do something with, like there's a Mountfield, what are they, the HP 474, something like that. I can't remember offhand, but that's a common one you can buy from Screwfix. Let's actually go around and see what it is. I think it was actually Mountfield HP 164, I think, or something like that. It's not really important, but you know, they are just a lightweight sort of cheapo mower. And I've actually looked at parts on these. You can sort of get, in my area, 70 sort of pounds. On a real good day, you can just make over 100. But if you've got a bag for one, for a start, the bags, let's look at them a bit better. The bags can make about 30 to 40 pounds, just the bags alone on these. Then you've got the recoil, then you've got some other bits and pieces, coil and that. You know, sometimes if you're gonna get the low end of 70 pounds, sometimes it's hardly worth the hassle repairing them, in my opinion. But that's why I'm thinking about shying away from the cheaper end mowers and just, yeah, parting them out. It's like I've got 3 stills there. Annoyingly, they haven't got the recoils on them, because that would make the most, really. Recoils are always something I think a person will buy because they'll give that a go themselves, because only a few bolts. But they have got coils on. I haven't tested them, but that's got a coil on. That Echo there's got a coil on as well. So there's them parts, carburetors. I generally don't sell carburetors. I just generally keep them for if I ever need them. But there's bits of engine casing, handles, the shafts, and yeah, lots of bits. And that's just them few bits there alone. You know, that could be probably them 3 there, 3 or 4 streamers. Could be like 20 listings, if not more. And you know, it's just worth putting up, because like I said, once it's done, it's done. You know, you can just sit back and see if anything sells, wait for that ka-ching, and then, yeah, just pack them up and send them off. Like I said, eBay does take a fair chunk out nowadays. It is quite, I think I looked last time, it's like 12-13%. But yeah, it's just stuff that's sitting around. If you've got a bit of space to take things apart, I think it's well worth doing. So let's have a look at this other pile here. I'm thinking about doing the same with a lot of this. That one, that John Deere there, I will part that out. Some of these old haters I will as well. That old HR173 I will. That one I will repair. I've got some HRXs. That one I won't, but I've got some others which will be parted out for spares. This I mentioned the other day. Going to probably change this engine over, because these parts do make quite good money. These are Suzuki engines. So I'll try to save the mower with a bog standard Quantum or something on it. But yeah, I've got just so many bits around which could be potential money. There's handles. I've got handles there. They've got cables on a lot of them, levers. And then if we walk over here, loads of handles there as well, with levers and cables on. Recoils. I think I've got 2 bins full of recoils. We've got boxes there, all full of parts. Some have been listed, some haven't. But I bought that a while back, a McCulloch Pro Mac. And them parts are quite hard to get in the UK. So, you know, they just sit on there. Then not many people even running a saw like that now. But if someone is and they need a part, yeah, if there's not many around, they're gonna look at mine, aren't they? Even if it's priced a little bit high and they can't get it, they're gonna more likely bite the bullet and just pay that little bit extra because they can't get that part very easy. So, and you know, maybe cheaper in the States, but then I've got the postage and all that with it. So it's things like that. In there, I've got some steel TS360 parts. I did tool up and actually sold that, but I had a second tool. So that's all the parts from that. So they need to be listed. And then if you look here, this one is a steel HS45, no blades on that. The engine runs, so I can show someone that running, sell the recoil separate, the coil separate, probably keep the carb. Gearbox, I think was actually, the cogs in that are probably okay. The handle, loads, if you've got the time and you could be bothered to put them on, but like everything, you've got to be bothered, but it could pay okay. And over the years, we have sold a fair few lawnmower parts. Recoils there, more recoils, some Briggs tanks there. We've got some blowers under there and some old Honda engines off like Strimmers. We've got these ones here, a couple of Honda engines under there. We've got this old mag made by Kubota, mag engine, recoil's all good, carb and everything's on that. What I would probably do with that is probably just fire that up and then strip the engine down so I can sell the main engine separately and then the auxiliary bits on their own. We've got a Kawasaki engine there off of a John Deere mower. Yeah, it's just so much. Blowers, I think that one might be all right, but there's all these Makita blowers. Is that one? Yep, got coil on that one. Coil could be worth a few pounds. And yeah, another one there, a little, what maker was that? Kawasaki, I believe that was. And yeah, just got loads and loads of bits and pieces I've been collecting over the years. You probably won't have as much as I've got, but you know, even one mower can bring a few pound in. So yeah, there's more recoils there. And also it helps me to pay for the unit rent and for things on my projects, like that project, for example. What's sitting on it? Vroom. And yeah, things like that, because you know, doing the project is quite expensive. Yeah, whenever I look on eBay for mower parts and that, I usually come across someone that has loads of mower spares and that for sale, and they sort of make a little bit of a small business out of it. I've always thought I'll do the same, but I've just always got a bit too lazy or just haven't had the time to put the parts on. It is, like I said earlier, very tedious putting them on, but me and Laura have got a bit of a system how we do it. She does the photos and the basic listing and I go through and finish it off. So she does it, save it, and I go through and finish it off with pricing and everything. And it seems to work quite well like that. We used to do quite a bit of car boot sale reselling as well, and that was pretty good. The only thing that sort of ruined that a bit is YouTubers were showing people what to buy and everything, and then yeah, in the end, the stuff didn't seem to be at the car boot sales so much because other people were getting them first. And then Facebook Marketplace come into play as well, so that sort of ruined it a bit. Yeah, I found the stuff at the car boot sales got worse, you know, the quality of stuff just wasn't there anymore, so I sort of give it up. But I was surprised, one of the things I did the best was secondhand shoes. I did pretty good out of secondhand shoes. Yeah, I sold a lot of shoes over sort of a span of 2 or 3 years. But yeah, like I said, it all sort of died out in the end and it got a lot harder. So I was getting up early on a Sunday morning and I wasn't sort of getting the stuff. So, you know, sometimes it gets to the stage where, you know, you do something, you have to call it a day, and that's what we did. But yeah, I always knew in the back of my mind, if I want to sort of start something up on eBay again, I have got all these mower spares, and as you've just seen, I'm not short of mower spares. So yeah, that's what I think we're going to be doing in between times over winter as well, just sort of listing some of this, because as I'm clearing it, I can list it, and that's probably the best way, and then pack it away labelled, and then we should be fairly organised. These little labels aren't very expensive. You can get a lot of them. These sort of labels, and we just tie them on everything, and then box things up with a code or whatever on the box so we know where to get the part if it sells. But yeah, I'll just show you this last pile here as an example of a few things. So this is another one of my piles of shame, but yeah, I could just throw it all away, and some people just would do that, but I just can't do that. I see value in a lot of these parts down here. Some will get thrown away because I probably took things off what weren't much good, or they've just hung around too long. I've forgot what they fit, and I'll struggle to find out what they fit, so they'll just have to go. But we have things like recoil on there. In that box we have lots of air filter housing, and that's labelled that one. We have more recoils. Honda engine there. Don't think the engine's any good, but it's got the recoil on it. Got a Honda Pro engine down there. We've got a scarifier for an Atco, but that has got bad bearing on it, that end. But I could probably even put that on there for spares or repair, and someone will buy that, because they make certain times of the year that can make something like about £120 for a good one of them. So yeah, someone might pay £20, £30 for even that in that condition. You just don't know. If you don't put it on there, you don't know. And then we've got things around here. We've got a little Stiga engine off of a combi thing. I think a Makita recoil on top of a hedge cutter engine, an EFCO recoil. Goes off a hedge cutter as well, I think. There, if I can remember what that fits, I think it's something like an FS85. Cover in good condition. Wheels, some wheels would be worth putting on. I've got so many, some might not be, but we'll see when we get to that stage. In there, more recoils. Yeah, just bits here, there and everywhere. Another one of them Honda recoils. I think they were fitted on a Mountfield mower. There's an HRX down there. More bits in there. That's off a Honda. It's off a Steel chainsaw. Side cover, that's been labelled as is off a HRB 423, so that's already labelled, so that can go in our box to go home today. I think I've shown you enough for an example of what you can sort of do to try and make some extra money. That's our little tub to go home today, so we can work through that, and then I'll just keep doing that. So yeah, I'm going to leave the video here. I just thought I'd do this video today because it's a way of earning a bit of extra money. If you've got a bit of time and you've got the mowers and that around, and parts around what you've taken off, I think it's worth a go. And also, I tend to, when I go to look at a mower, if I'm in an auction or something, I try to put a bit of a value on it by what I could get for the parts. If say for example that one, I went to buy that and the drive didn't work. If I had a grass bag, I could put about £40 value, £30 to £40 value on the grass bag alone. And then I've got things like the recoil left, carburetor, handles with the cables. So if you check the cables are good, the cables have a little bit of value, because if someone's say repairing one of these and all the cables have been all folded over and split and that, you could sell like 3 cables together probably for decent money. You probably sort of get £20 for the second-hand cables if they're in decent condition, because someone would just buy the set rather than just looking to buy one cable and things like that. So that's how I sort of value a mower when I go to look at it, because if it's a non-runner, I can't test the drive or anything, and if the drive happens to be no good, I wouldn't be putting a new gearbox in one of them mowers, because the gearboxes are very expensive. But I've just looked to see what I could part the bits out for. And always the most valuable part is the grass bag, because it's the only bit that can sort of get separated from the mower. And yeah, so they always tend to get lost and people are always looking for them. So grass bags are the best thing to get hold of to sell secondhand, but there's lots of other bits and pieces as well. So anyway, I'm going to leave the video here. So hope the video's been of some use to you, and I'll be along with another video again soon. So bye for now.